Right. Well, let's start today. We talked about syntax. We started talking about syntax, and I was saying that syntax is concerned with the way words are related to each other in the sentence. And then we saw the idea of a canonical clause, the difference between sentence and clause, and what a canonical clause is. Could you bring me back a definition of canonical clause? What is a canonical clause? Do you remember? Yes, Vivi? It's the simplest. It's the simplest type of clause. Normally described as a clause with subject, verb, and a complement. Okay? The structure SVC. Okay? Well, why do we learn canonical clauses? Because by analyzing a canonical clause, we can have an idea on how turn a non-canonical clause into canonical, so that we can analyze it in a simpler form and transpose the analysis to more complex forms. Okay? Now, today we are going to start discussing the parts of speech in English. Okay? Now, by parts of speech, we understand the grammatical classes we are used to talk about. Okay? They are normally called the parts of speech, and there are 9 primary word classes, okay, or parts of speech. Word classes like verbs, adjectives, etc. Okay? So, we have the determinative, okay, the adjective, the noun, the coordinators, the adverbs, the prepositions, the verbs, and the subordinators. Okay? Let's hold on. Determinative. What are determinatives? Take this. The dog barked. The is working in relation to the word dog. Okay? The is determining that the dog I'm talking about is a specific dog. Okay? And not any regular dog. Now, let's imagine, instead of the dog barked, this sentence, let's take the sentence, a dog barked. Okay, a dog barked. A dog barked. What is the function of the article a? Any dog. And the same way the definite article is determinative, a dog barked is determinative of dog. It's saying, okay, it's any dog, it's not a specific one. Okay? So, to be determinative, please don't mess up determinative with definite pronoun. Okay? Determinative are words that work to restrict the meaning of some noun. Okay? Take some more examples. I've got a sore knee. Okay? It does not matter if it's the left or right, or in the case of Demetrius, the center knee. It's any knee. Okay? I've got a sore knee. And the same works for some, any, okay? So, this word class we call determinative. Now, adjectives, there's no much need to extend on the definition of adjectives. What is important to say is that adjectives are always going around some. Adjectives need to qualify something, and this something is described by a word class called a noun. In English, adjectives call a noun. Hi Mario, how do you do? Did you laugh a lot yesterday? Didn't see you there. Where? Where you went to the Melhores do Mundo. You were there, right? Yeah? Did you bring me an iPad 3 from Açailândia? Okay, so the adjective always calls a noun. Okay, they are deeply related. Let's imagine the noun is the nucleus, is the head of a noun phrase. The adjective is in its orbit, like planets go around the sun, or like the moon goes around the earth, if you prefer. Okay, so he is very young. I've got a sore knee. Okay, so we have a as a determiner and sore as an adjective. All of these two elements here, a sore knee. A sore knee is a noun phrase. Don't worry, we'll define noun phrase in no time. And if it's a noun phrase, the head of this phrase we suppose is a noun, okay? And these other two elements, a and sore, are orbiting knee, okay? They are working to restrict or to complete the meaning of the word knee. In the case of sore, okay, to specify the state it is, and to say it's not a specific one. Next one, please disconsider this. This is a mistake. It looks easy. Okay. Now, easy is orbiting around something else in the sentence. What is it? It looks easy. What is it that easy is orbiting around? It. Yeah? So here we have the verb, okay? We have a it, okay? And easy is working as an adjective for it, to restrict its meaning, whatever it is. The noun, as you already know, as you learn in the third year of elementary school, the noun is, what is a good definition for a noun? Elementary school, third year, Portuguese language. What is a good definition for a noun? Any word that? Let's put it this way. It's the name of the things. Yeah? It gives name to something in the world, either concrete or abstract. Okay? So nouns refer, okay, to something in the world. So nouns have a referential function. Okay? They are referential because when I say desk, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? I have an image of what desk is. When I say hate, of course I don't have the shape of hate in my mind, but I know exactly what kind of a feeling we are talking about. Okay? So the noun works to refer back to things in the world, either concrete or abstract. The coordinators, okay, and, or, but, however, whatsoever, and so on. Okay, the coordinators work. I'll tell you something that you would never imagine by yourselves. The coordinators work to coordinate sentences. Nice? Yeah. What does that mean? They put two ideas together. Okay? I'm tired, but I came to UFMA. Okay? I'm tired and I came to UFMA. Changing the coordinator changes the meaning. Okay? Idea 1 and idea 2. Okay? We saw Kim and Pat. Well, is this sentence canonical? It could be. We saw them. Okay? But I can derive this canonical sentence into two other canonical sentences. What are they? We saw Kim. We saw Pat. When I put and, then I have coordination. Okay? Hurry or we'll be late. Okay? So hurry is one idea. Okay? If you don't hurry, we'll be late. Okay? So we'll be late, idea 2. Okay? And when I put the two ideas together, I have the so-called cohesion. Okay? It's cheap, but good. Okay? In fact, if it's cheap but good, it's not cheap. It's what, Vivi? Do you know this? Something that is cheap has a synonym that we normally use to avoid pejorative meaning. When something is cheap and I want to get rid of any possibility of pejorative interpretation, what do I say? This notebook, if I say it's cheap, there are two possible ways to interpret. First one, it was low price and that's all. Second one, I bought it probably in Paraguay. And no warranty, la garantía soy yo. Yeah? So what do I do? Instead of it's cheap, I say it's inexpensive. Yeah? So Valentine's Day, Brazilian Valentine's Day is arriving, so don't buy a cheap perfume for your girlfriend or boyfriend. Buy them an inexpensive perfume. Okay, cheap perfume are those perfumes that you would never like to smell on their clothes. Okay. Well, it's cheap but good. This but changes everything. If I said it's cheap and good, it's another way to relate the idea. So it's a coordination. But these sentences are not dependent on each other. If we split each side of the coordinated period has a meaning on its own. It's cheap. It's good. Okay? Hurry up. Idea 2, we'll be late. Okay? If you don't hurry up, we'll be late. It's another way to coordinate sentences. Okay? The adverbs are another word class. Okay? Most of them ending in the suffix "ly," but not only. Okay? Clearly, extremely, very, sadly, unfortunately, and so on. Okay? Now, adverbs work around actions to say how, where, when they happened. Okay? The mode, the intensity. Okay? We can discuss them later. Prepositions, which you are very familiar with, which are a very easy topic, especially for Brazilian students. They always know the difference between in the table, on the table. Yeah. Verbs. What are verbs? Definition for verbs. They talk about the action. I'm standing in front of the board. What's the action? I am statically standing in front of the board. What is the action? The action of being stopped. In fact, yes, they work to talk about actions and also about the state of being. Okay, we have those state of being verbs like I am a teacher. This is a state of being. This is not really an action. For sure, if I'm a teacher, I teach, and this is an action. Okay, we are going to explore this as we get, as the popular saying in English, we are going to cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay.
There are also natural phenomena, like raining. To talk about natural phenomena. Yeah, it's raining. Okay, very good. Now we have the subordinators that, just like the coordinators, put two ideas together, but in this case, there is a relationship of dependence between one side and the other. I know that it's true. Okay, it's true by itself is okay. It's a sentence. It's a clause. It's true. But I know what? Okay? It should be either implicit from the context, or it should be called in the next element in the sentence. Ask whether it's true. Ask what? Okay? Again, it's true. Okay, it's a sentence. But ask something. Okay? It needs a complement. And when verbs need a complement, we call them transitive or intransitive. When verbs need a complement, for example, I'm reading a book. I'm reading. Who reads? Reads something. A book, a magazine. What is the verb to read? Transitive or intransitive? Huh? Transitive. Very good. Direct or indirect? Direct. I'm reading this. I'm reading that. Very good. Okay. So these are the 9 parts of speech in English. We also have the interjections. Okay. But interjections are not to be considered in our study. Okay. They are so simple, and we will not explore them in this course, because interjections are those exclamations like, oh, holy shit, yeah, oh, fuck. I said fuck, I didn't say fuck, now I said fuck. Shouldn't say fuck, yeah. In Tosca English, oh, face garlic. You know what face garlic is? Face garlic? If you don't know, you do a morphosyntactical analysis of the word face garlic, and then you realize what it means. Face garlic, she's taking me serious. She's taking me serious. Don't take me serious. This is Tosca English. Face, cara. What is the translation for garlic, class? Garlic? Don't you know what garlic is? Vampires are afraid of garlic. Alho. Now put them together. Caralho. Oh, caralho. Yeah. I shouldn't say this. I'm recording you. My God. They don't understand the bitchery.
Yeah, you don't understand my bitcheries. Yeah, this is a big bitchery. Let me erase this before Susanna comes here and read this, and then I'm pretty in bad sheets or in bad shits. I don't know. Okay. Now, we take pronouns to be a subclass of nouns, okay? You could ask me, teacher, where are the pronouns in your chart? And then I ask you, what is the function of a pronoun? Yeah, but they are not underlined. Sorry. No, yeah. I love you. Yes. So the pronouns are included in the nouns. Why? Why do you suppose so? They have the same function. Every time a noun happens in a sentence,
I can always replace it with a pronoun. So they play basically no, they play exactly the same role. Okay? So they are not a distinct primary class. Traditional grammars generally take our determinatives to be a subclass of adjectives. Okay? Though some grammars recognize a class of articles consisting of the and a. Our determinative class is much larger, containing not just the and a, but also words like some, any, all, each, every, no, etc., etc., etc. Okay? These are very different from words like those adjectives on our table. Well, let's take a look at this distinction. Take adjectives. Some grammars say, okay, adjectives work to restrict the meaning of a noun. That's true. Determinatives also restrict the meaning of a noun. One thing is I say, get me a notebook. Now, get me the notebook that's on that desk. Okay? It's a completely different meaning. Get me that red notebook. Okay? So we decided in our approach to split adjectives and determinatives. Okay? For determinatives, we are going to work with the pronouns some, any, a, the, okay, those that have referential function, okay. For example, the and a only makes sense talking about the or a if I give you information about what I'm talking, okay. Now, we are going to split them into two different categories, although some grammars work with them all as determinatives. They don't talk about adjectives. Okay, adjectives, to some grammars, not to our approach, some grammars consider adjectives determiners. And it's easy to know why. Yeah? We have two backpacks over there. The black backpack and the gray backpack. Now, the word backpack refers to a concept in the road that is modified. Okay, they call it determinatives, and some of the grammars call it modifiers. Okay, so the idea of backpack is modified by the adjective that refers to the color. Okay, now we are going to talk about adjectives as a different category. In our approach, we have coordinator and subordinator as distinct primary classes. Some traditional grammars, however, have a primary class of conjunctions. Okay, they put this together, coordinators, subordinators, conjunctions as a whole, okay? Subdivided into coordinating and subordinating conjunctions. So as you can see, it's not something very precise, exact, that we can say, oh, the way to classify is this. It will depend on the way you want to approach the syntax of the language. You can choose either one or another, okay? Oops, sorry about that. Now, teacher, how am I going to memorize these 9 that are not 9, they are 8 because we are disconsidering interjections? How am I supposed to memorize these 8 parts of speech or word classes? Okay, parts of speech, word classes, grammatical class, they are different ways to talk about the same thing. Okay, well, you can create your own way to memorize them. Some people learn them by heart easily. I don't. Okay? So, I have created my own sentence. You can create any sentence you would like. This is a kind of macete de cursinho. Okay? So, I have created this sentence, this hint. NASA has discovered a very cold planet. Where we have noun. One of the A's, you can decide who comes first, adjectives or adverbs. Noun, adjective, subordinators, adverbs, determinative, verbs, coordinators, and prepositions. This is my way to do it. You can create your own sentence. I don't know. Okay? It will depend a lot on how you memorize things. Okay? For me, this was the easiest one, but you can create any other. Okay? Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are all here. Okay? 8 classes. Okay? So, now, adjective, subordinator, adverb, determiner, verbs, coordinators, and prepositions. Okay, these are the 8 parts of speech in English. Okay, now that you know about the parts of speech, we can talk about the speech. Okay, and how we construct phrases in English. We have some types of phrases, okay? We are going to deal with the noun and the verb phrase in this course, but we also have the adjective phrase, the prepositional phrase, okay? So for each part of speech, we have, for each phrase we have a corresponding part of speech. Okay? So, what are these phrases? 6 of these 8 word classes, or these 8 parts of speech, have corresponding class of phrases. Now it's something very difficult for you to understand, so I ask you to have a lot of attention. Okay? What is the main difference between the verb phrase and the noun phrase? The nucleus, the head, the core of the verb phrase is the core of that verb phrase is a verb. The core of the noun phrase is a. Now guess what? The core of the adjective phrase is an adjective. And of the prepositional phrase is a preposition. Okay? We have 6 possible phrases, possible classes of phrases in English. Okay? So each of these phrases have as its head one of these grammatical classes or word classes or parts of speech. Okay? So we have some examples here, and there is a phrase enclosed in brackets, okay, and the head is underlined. Okay? So this is a possible exercise you have to do. Find the phrase in the sentence, find the head, okay, and tell me if it's a noun phrase, a verb phrase, a prepositional phrase, an adjective phrase, whatever. Take this. She wrote some letters, and he is still in London. Well, if I take the verb here, wrote some letters, okay, what is the head? Wrote, okay. So, I have a verb phrase here. He is still in London. Teacher, how do I know? How do I know it's a verb phrase and not a noun phrase? How do I know the head should be wrote and not letters? Well, drop the words. Get them out of the phrase. And check what is, how can I say, more harmful for meaning. Okay? She, some letters. Can I still have an idea of what's happening here? She, some letters. She wrote some. Just the complements, Mrs. She wrote some cards. She wrote some books. But we still have the idea of what she has done. Okay? She wrote some books, some letters, I don't know, but she wrote some emails, okay? Now some letters, it's kind of strange. What did she do to the letters? Okay, the action is important here, okay? He, still in London. If we drop this, we still have an idea of what's happening because of the preposition in. He is still in. Still in Paris, doesn't matter, but I know the idea is talking about the state of being in that case. We discussed the noun phrase into detail, don't worry, okay? The adverb phrase, I spoke too soon, okay? Let me get another marker here. I spoke too soon. I spoke in a certain way. Too soon is another phrase compared to, I'm sure there's one here that works. This one? Yeah. Okay, I spoke too soon. I spoke this way. Okay? Too soon is another phrase. It's extraordinarily good. Now look here. Extraordinarily is in brackets, isolated from the other parts. Why? Is it really harmful to the meaning if I drop extraordinarily? If I tell you it's good, do you still understand? So extraordinarily is an extra element, okay, that we can put in the sentence. It's extraordinarily good. Extraordinarily on its own is a phrase, and it's an adverbial or adverb phrase. Okay? I spoke too soon is the way I did it. It's not necessary to talk about the way I did it to give you an idea of what I did. The prepositional phrase, there in the garden, or he wrote a book on sharks. Okay? Now in the garden is the position where they are. Okay? I could say they are teaching. Do I still have a prepositional phrase? Of course not. And now, they are teaching. What do I have here? What kind of a phrase is this? It's a verb phrase. What is the head of the verb phrase? Are or teaching? Teaching. Because this is the main verb. This are is just part of the structure of what you learned in book 1 as present continuous. Why present continuous? Present of be. Continuous of the main verb. The progressive of the main verb. Okay? It's not the case here. They are in the garden. They are somewhere. Okay? Do you know somewhere? Do you know who is somewhere? Do you know somewhere? He's from Aracatuba. Somewhere is the brother of Manuel. Okay. They are in the garden. Take here. They are in the bus. They are on the beach. Okay? In the bus, on the beach, in the garden, in the classroom. They are all prepositional phrases. He wrote an article on literature, or about literature, or he is studying about linguistics. This on literature, about literature, on linguistics, okay? they are all prepositional phrases. Okay? Now take, he wrote a book. Let's forget this on sharks. He wrote a book. Verb phrase, he wrote. Okay? Just like here. Okay? He wrote a book. Sorry. This is no phrase at all. Okay? My eraser. Can you understand verb phrases, prepositional phrases, and noun phrases? Do you have any questions?
Professor?
Yeah? Still is an adverb, I think so. Now you got me, Miley. So you have to decide what is more important. If it's the fact of being there or of still being there. He still in London. There's something missing here. What is stronger here in this relationship? Being in London or still being in London?
Mas o adverb phrase ele não dá uma ênfase.
A mesma coisa que eu pensei nesse I spoke to soon.
É.
Pra mim, spoke é o I spoke, então seria uma adverb phrase pra mim.
Eu entendi o adverb phrase como todo advérbio que estaria incluído, ele daria uma ênfase à frase. Porque eu posso falar, eu acredito, eu posso falar it's good.
It's extraordinarily good.
It's extraordinarily.
Deixa eu tentar entender o que acontece aqui. Agora vocês me pegaram, peraí. He is still in London. Me parece que... Tá, a minha impressão disso aqui. Esse still é completamente desnecessário.
Pois é.
A mesma coisa que o too soon. Né? I spoke soon. Mas mesmo assim, aqui eu tenho o quê? Um adjetivo. Certo? Soon. Quando eu colo o to nele, eu crio um modo de fazer. E aí aqui, quando eu paro aqui minha análise, nesse conjunto aqui eu tenho um adverb phrase. Tá? Aqui, em London. Se eu parar aqui, o que eu tenho? Um prepositional phrase. Ok? Is still in London, esse grupo maior aqui, o núcleo dele é aqui. Is still in London. Entendeu? Os phrases eu posso agrupar e falar, eu vou analisar esse grupão aqui. E aí o que pesa é o verbo.
Não teria como parar depois desse, deixar só still in London para analisar.
Still in London. Acredito que sim, eu preciso checar, mas eu acho que dá para fazer isso. Still in London. He is. Aí eu teria he is, que seria se eu parar aqui, he is. Noun phrase. Cujo núcleo é he. Né? Eu preciso verificar isso direitinho para vocês. Eu estou tendo isso como impressão. Tá? Eu preciso dar uma olhada na teoria de novo para ver se eu não estou falando besteira. Tá? Da mesma forma que eu fiz lá com o STEM, eu vou fazer com isso aqui. Tá? Eu acredito que com o desenrolar da teoria, talvez a gente possa ir tendo alguns insights para explicar isso. Tá? Mas tem pontos de análise que acho que a gente pode agrupar, né? De acordo com certo grupo de palavras, falar aqui tem uma phrase, aqui não tem. Sorry. Well, the determinative phrase works almost the same way. I saw almost every card. Okay? I saw cards. When I say I saw cards, I have a verb phrase. I saw this. Okay? Now this almost every is a determinative phrase. And we have very little money left. Again, little, okay, as the head of the determinative phrase, very little. Aí você poderia dizer, mas very não é He's not very an adverb. Yeah, but very what? Very little. It's more important to be little money, because if it's not little, it can't be very little. I don't know if you will understand my point. Yeah? The adjective phrase, it's getting rather late. It's getting rather late, in which in rather late, late is the head. I'm glad you could come. Okay, in which glad is the head. In the noun phrase, this is one of the most important ones. Okay, the noun phrase, we should know everything about the noun phrase. The new lodger is here. Something is here. The subject is here. And this is what really matters for us, okay? As you already know, okay, I'm not a specialist in syntax, so prepositional phrases and so on are not that important for us. Taking my limitations in the subject here, all the other types of phrases are not that important for us, but the noun phrase and the verb phrase. Why? Because considering this is a pre-service course, you know what pre-service means? Licenciatura. Yeah? This is what you will really need to deal with to teach. Okay? Verb phrases and noun phrases. I don't mean you won't need the other types of phrases, but these are the more recurrent ones. Okay? So, the noun phrase can work in the new lodger is here as the subject of the sentence. The boss wants to see you. I have two noun phrases here. The boss working as the boss wants to see you. What is the function, the syntactic function of the boss in the sentence? Subject. Wants to see you. What is the function of you in the sentence? Object. So we have a very good definition for noun phrase for our pedagogical use of the noun phrase. Okay? The noun phrase is that one that can be both the subject or the object of a sentence. Okay? This is what really matters for us when we take the noun phrase. So, to be either the subject or the object, it must be a noun phrase. And to be a noun phrase, there must be a noun or something in its place, which we call a pronoun. Okay? And this explains why in English we do not have what we call sujeito oculto, sujeito inexistente, sujeito elíptico. Okay? There will always be a noun phrase, okay, composed of at least one noun or pronoun, okay, to receive the action. Take this into inverted commas because we discussed the idea of verbs as actions. Yeah? But to receive the action of the verb or to practice that action. Okay? Who does things or who receives, who does actions or makes it and receives it are always noun phrases. Okay? And consequently there must be a noun there. Okay? We'll go into detail into noun phrases and verb phrases soon. Concerning the way of how to split the phrases, I'll try to research about this and I'll bring you an answer, because I don't know exactly what is the criteria. I think we can stop at certain points. It's kind of arbitrary, I don't know. Now, what is the canonical clause? We learn a canonical clause is nothing but subject, verb, complement. Or if you prefer, subject and predicate. Okay? Now, take this. The students got ready for the test. Okay? The subject, the students. What kind of a phrase is it? I have a determiner and I have a noun. Is it a determinative phrase or a noun phrase? Why do you think it's a noun phrase, Mario? It is the subject of the sentence. And to be the subject of a sentence, necessarily this phrase must be a noun phrase. Yeah? And to be a noun phrase, there must be a noun. Where is the noun? It's here. Okay? Got ready for the test. This is the second phrase. Got. Can I split it into two more elements or only one? Got ready for the test. Okay, this is a predicate. This is a predicate, but a predicate is composed of at least one phrase. At least one implies there may be more. We are going to talk about that, okay? For now, let's consider green as the subject and purple as the predicate. Okay? My paper was approved for publication. What porra is that again? Are they praying or something? Oh no, they are singing the Marselhese. Deve estar com dor de cotovelo pelos 3-0 de ontem. Ok. A minha cara dá uma aula assim, não é não, Viviane? Botar vocês para cantarem o hino americano, que tal? Ok, let's go to this. What time is it? Okay. Take this sentence here. My paper was approved for publication. My paper, what kind of a phrase is that? Noun phrase, okay? It should be a noun phrase. It always should be a noun phrase. If it's the object or the subject, there should be a noun phrase. Was approved for publication as the predicate. Now we'll see the possible divisions here. Was approved for publication. What do you think? How many phrases are there here? Only one? Was approved for publication. Only 1, 2, 3. How many do you think? This, the subject, was approved for publication. Was approved for publication. How many phrases are there here? Look, I have a noun, I have a verb, and I have a preposition. How many phrases do you expect to have here? A noun phrase. Was approved as a verb phrase. For publication as a preposition. Prepositional phrase. Okay? So how can we analyze this? It was obvious that he was lying. Because here I have... Enche o saco isso aí, hein? Here we have the students got ready for the test. Okay, let's analyze it. Is this canonical? The students, subject, verb, got, complement, ready for the test. My paper was approved for publication. The same thing happens. Okay, canonical, it's no problem for us. Now take this. It was obvious that he was lying. Canonical. So, and now, what should we do? Sit down and cry? No. We must work the sentence out. Okay? So, how can we turn it into a canonical sentence? Try it. It was obvious that he was lying. And now, we have to work with this almost mathematically, okay? Where's the verb here? The verb in this sentence was. Now, the verb, the subject, the complement. Verb is was. Where is the subject? Here. What was obvious? What was obvious? It was obvious. But it was obvious. It was obvious what? He was lying. So we have a relationship between it and he was lying. The it I'm talking about is the fact that he was lying. They are in a relationship of equality. So we can get he was lying or that he was lying with the conjunction together and put it as it refers to he was lying. We can always substitute this as the subject. Take that he was lying that he was lying okay, he was lying. That he was lying was obvious. Okay, it looks strange. It looks strange, Zeuchoa, I know. That he was lying is the same for it. It was obvious. Something was obvious. This was obvious. What is something? What is it? What is that? He was lying. Okay? And now I have a canonical sentence. Of course we won't consider that he was lying was obvious because the order is not direct. We never start a sentence with a conjunction. A conjunction must happen in the middle of, in between two clauses. Yeah? But just to understand what this it is talking about. It and he was lying, in fact, are the same entity. Yeah, it was obvious. What was obvious? He was lying. Yes, Vivi.
Say like this. He was obviously lying.
He was obviously lying. Yes. But then he was obviously lying. Calm down. It was obvious that he was lying. And that he was lying. No, he was obviously lying. The problem is that you take an adjective, obvious, and turn it to an adverb. And then you change the elements, the roles, the elements in the sentence play. Because if I say he was obviously lying, now the subject is he, and not the fact he was lying. Okay? If you change the grammatical class from obvious adjective to obviously, which is an adverb, then we have a change in the roles each element in the sentence plays. Now, when I take that he was lying was obvious, or it was obvious, we have a subordinate clause as the subject. Okay? And then we'll have to talk about the subject, which is not necessarily the one that does or performs the action. Remember, when I'm standing here, if I shut up, I'm doing nothing. There's no action at all. There is a state of being. When you are wondering about your life, you're not necessarily doing an action. Okay? You are in a certain state. And then we talk about this next class. I promise I'll bring you a more consistent explanation on how to find those phrases. Okay? I'll try to look for a method to split longer sentences into noun phrases, verb phrases, and then I'll bring you the answer. Okay? For now, I was not ready for that question. Okay? So, I think we must stop here today. And I have very good news. I didn't record the slides, but I can always do it with the audio. I can go clicking round and round. Percebi que a máquina estava muito leve. Eu não estava gravando os slides. Esqueci de apertar o REC, mas eu estava gravando o áudio. Então em casa eu fico trabalhando de camelo e apertando, dando clique. Sim.
As classes gramaticais têm a mesma função sintática e as mesmas classes têm no português?
Cara, não vou saber te dizer porque eu saberia mais as do